morning, everybody. Call this meeting to order. Welcome to the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners, June 9th, 9 a.m. Regular scheduled meeting. If you all will stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. And before we do that, if we can just give a moment of silence for a employee that has passed away this week, and he is the grandfather of our assistant chief of the county, as well as the grandfather-in-law of our deputy clerk. So if we could, Mr. Herman O'Neill, just a moment of silence, and then we'll do the invocation.
Let us pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you once again that we have the opportunity to come together to take care of the business of the county. Lord, as always, we just ask that you guide our thoughts, our actions, our words, that the things that we do and say may be what's in the best interest of all of us who live here in this county. Dear Lord, we ask special blessings upon the O'Neill family and the loss of their loved one. We just ask for comfort for them during this time. We thank you for those who are present today in person and those who are online. We just ask for some traveling mercies for those that have to travel back to their respective places. And we'll pray these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. If you have any electronic devices, if you'll make sure those are muted for the duration of the meeting. Next item on the agenda is to adopt the agenda. Do we have anything that needs to be added? Hearing none, do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. Next item are minutes. Item number 1, May 25th, 2021, 6 p.m. regular meeting. If you all have had time to read those minutes, is there anything that needs to be corrected, added?
Hearing none, make a motion to approve this written.
All right, have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Municipal comments. I don't see any. She's not on there.
I'm on. I don't have any comments.
Mayor Glover, are you on?
I am. I don't have any comments, but I am on.
She has no comments. I can hear her.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Skip. Next item is constitutional officers. Do not see any. We will move to department heads. None at this time. We do not have a need for public hearing. Next item, unfinished business. Item number 1, update and discussion for County Line Road project. Darren is en route. He got stuck in traffic, so we will move to next item and come back to that. Item number 2, appointment to DFAX District 2, current term ends 6/30/2021. That's Buster, correct?
No,
2, sorry.
I'm sorry. I'd like to make a motion to appoint Tom Cannon Skinner, and I believe everyone should have his resume or his.
All right.
By
We have a motion to appoint Tom Cannon Skinner. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 3, appointment to DFAX District 5 to fill an unexpired term that will end on 6/30/22.
That's my district, and the person I was talking with has decided that they didn't feel like they would be an asset for that board, so I'd like to make a motion to table, and I'll continue to look.
All right, have a motion to table. Do I have a second?
second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. We'll come back to unfinished business. We'll move to new business, and that is item number 1, appointment to the Zoning Board of Appeals to fill an unexpired term that will end January 5th, 2022. Does anyone have anyone?
I thought we were having some discussion about whether we would keep that board or not.
Right. So it's still here. Do we need to table it?
we get tabled it back on March 23rd of this year, and it's asked back on this agenda, so we can table.
We
it.
probably just sort of forgot about it, because I think this board never meets.
Right.
You know, or they don't
They
have
haven't
to, or
met in
whatever. Can we just
6
table it till at least, so, Mr. Vaughn, can we just maybe look at it and see before our next meeting? See what we need to do. Thank you.
So is that a motion?
I make it in form of a motion.
All right, have a motion. Do I have a second? You have something, Shirley?
Yes. Is this the board that also, when you do your property assessment and you don't agree with it, is this the same board that, okay, all right.
That's the assessor.
Yeah.
All right, so have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Item is tabled. Item number 2 is appointment to the Water and Sewage Authority, District 4. I had a discussion with the attorney this morning. He's checking on something. So at this point, I want to make a motion to table this. Do I have a second?
Second?
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion. All right, thank you. Item's tabled. Item number 3, Recreation Advisory Board, discussion of social programs and fundraising. Ms. Mary?
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for allowing me this opportunity to speak on behalf of our Recreation Advisory Board. I have asked the clerk, Ms. Thomason, to make you a hard copy of the presentation for your review, and I will only highlight some of the items in the document. My topics will be about a walkathon, calendar of social events we would like to host, and recommendations sent to the board. Number 1 was a walkathon, and I understand the Board of Commissioners has not approved this event, although it was introduced back in March when we asked for the County Farm Road to be closed for the event. I do apologize for assuming it was approved. Though I have been in communication with Mr. Gay regarding this event, also the donation letter. Therefore, after my presentation, we are hoping that we can get an approval from the Board of Commissioners for the walkathon this morning. So our goal for the walkathon is to offer a positive and uplifting day with a walkathon, entertainment, fun games for the entire family while hosting a fundraiser. The purpose of this is to raise funds to support unbudgeted activities that our Recreation Board would like to sponsor, such as field trip for the children, a movie night, pizza and ice cream social, an old-fashioned Halloween carnival, and more family activities. For our sponsor, we would like to continue to send our donation letters to businesses. All donations are payable to Meriwether County Board of Commissioners. Attention, Meriwether County Walkathon. The date for this event would be Saturday, July 31st, beginning at 9 o'clock. The location, we are asking for County Farm Road to be closed from Highway 27 to Highway 100 at the stop sign where the New Springfield Church is for possibly 4 hours. We are also asking to use a portion of the land on the County Farm Road for activities. For participants, we are looking for parents, youth, seniors, citizens, civic groups, and churches. The application fee for adult is $20, children 11 to 18 is $10, and no charge for children under $10, under 10. This fee is payable to Meriwether County Board of Commissioners. Attention, Meriwether County Walkathon. Participant fee will be used to pay for the t-shirt, water bottle, armband, and certificates. For volunteers, we're asking each recreation committee member to get at least 6 volunteers to help with this event, also others. For advertising, since this is a county event, we are asking this event be advertised on the county website and Facebook page. So that's for the walkathon. The Meriwether County Recreation Advisory Board presented a calendar. On or about March the 8th, the Board of Commissioners should have received an email. The Recreation Board was seeking approval of a calendar of events the Recreation Advisory Board met and approved that we would like to do. And the letter said, or the email said, "Dear Board of Commissioners, the Meriwether County Recreation Advisory Board continues to be an active and creative Board. It is our desire to promote the Meriwether County Recreation Department in a positive way, that citizens will have an opportunity to be involved. We feel it is important that our program will contribute to the overall quality of life for our community. In alignment with our strategy and recommendation to you on December the 3rd last year, we have outlined a calendar of social programs we would like to plan for this year. To help offset the cost for some of the events we are planning, we have included 3 fundraiser events. As it is our hope that your board will soon schedule a work session to help us advance in our recreation programs throughout Meriwether County. In lieu of the planning, and this is gone, we were asking that July the 3rd be set aside a Lake Meriwether so that we could do a firework event. So the list of event or the calendar that we was planning was March, we would do the county garden, which we have already done. For May, we was looking to do a walkathon and bake sale as a fundraiser. June, we wish to do a pizza party, line dancing, crazy bingo, and other activities. For July, we had wanted to do a firework event. And then also in July, we want to do a summer camp with a trip to Lake Meriwether and Luciferieville for the children. In August, we wanted to do an outdoor family movie night. September, we want to do a yard games, ring toss, beanbag toss, frisbee, etc. And then in October, we was hoping that we could use Lake Meriwether for a fishing tournament as a fundraiser. And also a Halloween carnival, trunk or treat, dance, games, and etc. The third item was the Recreation Advisory Board recommendation. In December last year, the Recreation Advisory Board sent the Board of Commissioners a recommendation. It was to hire a recreation director. The director would work along with the current Manchester Meriwether County Sport Director, Vic Dowd. The new director would also oversee all recreation programs, such as social programs for seniors, youth, and young adults. Social programs would include, but will not be limited to, things like reading, line dancing, art and craft, aerobics, yoga, summer camp, etc. In a board meeting last December, when this recommendation was introduced, the Board of Commissioners stated they would plan a work session for the Recreation Department to consider the recommendation and to make plan for that department. As of today, I still have not heard of a work session. If this board is to help make an impact on the countywide recreation, we must have the cooperation and involvement for the Board of Commissioners. The advisory board must feel that they are serving a purpose. When we send a recommendation or proposal to the Board of Commissioners, it should not simply be ignored, but at least acknowledged to the board. Otherwise, there is no point in the board of the advisory board meeting every month if we cannot accomplish anything. That is my little spiel, and I'm open to questions.
I have a couple. On the calendar, where would all of these besides the one at Lake Meriwether be located? I know the walkathon, that's pretty specific.
Okay, we really had not designated a place. We was looking more like in centralized of the county, so I would think somewhere in Greenville maybe, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But somewhere so that everyone will have access to it, so it would be in a central location.
All right. And my next question is, when you began explaining all of this to us, you said that the money would be used for unbudgeted activities. And then you later said that the funds would be used for t-shirts, water bottles, et cetera. So
That is the participant fee, that $20 and $10, that's what that money would be used for, to buy the t-shirts that each one of them would get, and then the water bottle and armbands.
right, but that's $20 and $10, right? So if
Right.
that's going to buy the t-shirts, then where would additional money go to fund unbudgeted activities that you said? Is part of it coming from that participation fee?
Whatever we gain, from the businesses or wherever, then it will go towards these activities that we're planning to do for the pizza party, the movie night, or other activities that we are planning to
Right.
do. That's what that money will be used for.
When the Recreation Advisory Board was initially formed, it was to come before the Board of Commissioners and to make requests or recommendations that your board had come together and voted on of things they would like to do. And each of those individual things would have to come before us to make those decisions, whether we can move forward and budget that or not. So I'll honestly say I'm a little disappointed with the garden that is in the back, and I encourage every citizen to go and look at it. We budgeted for about $3,500 for the Recreation Advisory Board to do a garden to initially feed 60 people. I'm sorry, that garden won't feed 6 people. And $3,500 was, in my opinion, wasted. $1,600 of that money was given to travel, labor, and it was used on a company outside of Meriwether County to build 4 of these. At this point, I don't have the confidence that the money would be spent properly, no matter if it is fundraiser money or county money from the citizens of this county.
Now, one question, are you sure that that company is outside from my understanding?
The company is from outside. The individuals that own the company have a business within this county, but the company itself was outside. And I requested the receipts and more than once and got 2 different sets of quotes from the same people. So that's again why I question all of this, is that the first initial receipts that I received on this gave one specific amount. The next set of receipts that I got from the same company gave an entire different amount. So I do question it, but my main purpose of saying all this is when we formed this board, it was that you guys meet, you guys vote on something you'd like, you come before us, we make those decisions. But it seems to me that this board has been asking for budget when there's already a budget out there, but any additional funds has to come before us, but you guys still look for ways to get budget money, but it still has to come through us to approve every single thing because it's not an authority board.
Okay, and I understand that, Chairman Threadgill. My thoughts are this: these activities, the only thing that I see that the county is providing is the money that we pay to Manchester for the recreation. And all that consists of is sport. So this board is trying to bring something else to the table that all the citizens of Meriwether County could enjoy and get involved in. As for the $3,000, maybe you do see it as a waste, but then if you look at it, there is a lot of money that has been wasted by this county that was not donated towards the board.
That's irrelevant. We're talking about
Okay,
Recreation
the
Advisory
Recreation
Board.
Advisory Board. So if you feel that that is irrelevant, that's fine. So all I'm asking for is approval to do a walkathon, approval for us to do these events. And if the board wants to be more involved, we are now in June. I have not heard from not one commissioner have attended a meeting. So how are you being involved with the recreation? This board has been formed for 7 years, has not accomplished nothing. It is a joke and it is not going anywhere. And from what I'm seeing
So
and
the
hearing,
Recreation Advisory Board is a joke?
it is a joke. What do we do? When we meet, what can we accomplish? We can't accomplish anything. And then
Let me
if
ask
we
you this,
send
Ms.
you
Mary.
in
Let me,
details-
no, we're not going to do it like this, but
No.
let me ask you this. Have you guys requested to be on the agenda to present to us decisions that have been made by the Recreation Advisory Board, or have you just sent us emails stating the things that you would like to do? It is emails of things you would like to do. When it was originated, it was that we are to be presented the
Okay.
thoughts and recommendations by your board. So we can't meet, and there were issues. We tried to give you all the freedom, in my personal opinion, to meet and have that without us being involved in your meetings to maybe give influence or to stop any type of open discussion that you guys may have. That's why I have not attended any of your meetings, is so that you guys feel like you have an open forum to be able to discuss whatever you want, to come back to us, to present to a board as a whole, to make a decision. And therefore, we don't have any thoughts prior to it being presented to us as a whole to make those decisions for you.
Chairman Gill,
Yes.
if you remember when I was on the board last year, we did do a presentation for the recommendation. At that time, all of us stated that we were going to put this on hold and we would schedule a workshop to discuss it. That recommendation has not been acknowledged. It has not been brought forth. A work session has not been scheduled.
But again, you said that no board member has been to your meeting. You have not heard from a board member. The Recreation Advisory Board is to meet, to vote, and then to request to do a presentation to this board.
Every
So
month.
we're not going to intervene and come to you to ask you what you want to do. It is the Recreation Advisory Board's responsibility to request to come before this Board of Commissioners.
And I repeat, in December, we did come before the board.
Okay.
Nothing was done, nothing was acknowledged. Is that not true?
Any other commissioners?
Well, if we need to have a work session, we can, that's
Right.
fine. I just got a couple of things I'd like to mention. The idea of the garden, I thought was a good idea, but have you looked at it like today? I mean,
No,
nothing has been done. I mean, it's not gonna produce anything. I
Well,
mean, it takes somebody, some work doing that. The other thing is, I think the idea of doing some kind of fireworks thing is fine. I see the date, July 3rd. I believe that is the day that Manchester has
we put that off.
and okay, you put that off and say,
And they are
if we do it, let's just do it 2 different times where everybody can go to
No.
both of them. There's nothing wrong with having 2 fireworks thing. Let's just don't do it on the same day.
No, we thought
But if
that
you
that
don't-
would be too involved and costly, so
It
we
is
put
very
that on the
expensive.
back agenda for make plans for next year so that we could do.
I think a basic fireworks thing is anywhere $15,000 to $18,000. So that is a huge undertaking. Like I said, I don't have a problem with, doing the walkathon. We probably do need a work session where we sit down and talk about more about who's going to do what and when and that kind of thing. I'm all for offering some things other than athletics, because yes, there are other things to recreation besides athletics. So my recommendation would be that we set the work session. If we want to approve the walkathon, because that would be coming up in July.
30th is.
I don't have any problem
31st.
making a motion to approve the walkathon and, and the pizza party as well. I mean, that would be in June. We want to go ahead and do those 2 things and then have the work session. That would be my recommendation.
And that's the
My
thing, I'm not
motion,
against
I'll
it.
make a motion for that.
And I want to say, I'm not against doing any of this. We do need additional things in the county. What I'm saying to you, Miss Mary, because I don't know if we're understanding each other, is the Recreation Board is supposed to request to come before us to do this. But what I've heard from you is we have failed to contact you. But yes, we did suggest, or we agreed to do a work session, but we don't come to you and ask you what you want this month. That's your responsibility on that board to come before us and make the request to do so.
And I understand it. So are you saying that every time that we come up with an idea or thought that we should come before the board?
If you are needing funding, yes, ma'am.
Okay, the fundraising, that was the purpose of us doing the fundraiser so that we would not have to go into the county budget.
But
to-
you are not a budgeted board. I mean, you are not a board that has the authority to spend.
Even
without
if
the
you raise the money, we're gonna have to approve you to be
Right.
able to spend it.
Right.
You guys are gonna have to, or the finance department will have to be the collective authority.
Right. And then,
Go ahead, Matt. I think it'd be also appropriate if we're soliciting funds from our business partners throughout the county, that comes from the Board of Commissioners, not an authority. That would have more of an official.
the money can be spent back out, but it needs to be started here because you gotta be an accounting of it.
And there's nothing wrong with raising the money. It's just, it has to come back to our
Well,
hands. And then when you all get ready to do something else, you have to present it to us. And then we say yes or no.
Right, that's why I said everything will be payable to Meriwether County Board of Commissioners. I stated that from the beginning.
Right.
I wanted the checks to have the attention of the walkathon so that Bill, when he receives them, he would know where it's to be placed.
There also needs to be a level of control on the funds going out. Without that level of control is Darren, Brad, Brian, somebody else. that
It's
person-
either them or all of us, not one.
I would also mention that, the recreation board, I know Miss Mary, worked, on this grant up here for a park, which is gonna turn out to be more than a $500,000 park. We have had a lot of time, effort, and a pretty big commitment on that. And we're already now into the last stages of that
So
program.
that is a big deal.
Right.
So we have done
I
just a
say
little
we-
bit.
We said to work this, I'll make a motion that we approve the walkathon and
You said the pizza,
the June
pizza
line
thing.
dancing and pizza thing, and then let's set a work session.
Okay. So I have a motion for those two. Do I have a second?
I would like to go ahead and second now, and I apologize for the lack of my understanding, because when I saw the initial email from December, I didn't realize that was a request. Just, I apologize, I just didn't realize that was a request.
No,
It
that
was
was
just a statement as far as I was concerned.
the recommendation? No, that was held,
But that's irrelevant now, but
yeah,
there
it was
is a
held
second.
during the commissioner meeting, and we all responded and made suggestions. And we stated at that time, we was going to put it on hold, and we would have a work session. That work session never happened. The advisory board was never received anything saying that we still thinking about it, but we don't have time.
We haven't
Blah,
even
blah,
had a
blah.
work session ourselves, and with COVID, it's been extremely difficult.
Yeah, and
with
I
the-
understand
Y'all
that.
have 9 people, and we have this whole room of people plus attorneys that we would have to have. So it would be very hard to do that with 6-foot distance in the areas that we have. But what I would suggest, Ms. Mary, is, and we do have a motion on the table and a second, but what I would suggest is when you guys meet and you decide something, send an email to Beverly with an outline of what you would like to present to the Board of Commissioners so that she can get that out and put those on the agendas. Don't send them to us as commissioners. Send it to Beverly with an outline saying we would like to be placed on the agenda to address these items from the Recreation Advisory Board to the Board of Commissioners, and we'll go from there.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna make one last statement. Thank you, Beth, for motion that we do have the pizza party and all, but right now we are in the middle of June and we do not really have time to plan these activities. And we are running way behind for the walkathon. So walkathon is nothing that you can just do overnight. So that's why we started back earlier, trying to get sponsor and get information out to people so that we could get someone involved. But we won't do the pizza party, not right now anyway, maybe at a later date.
So July 31st, walkathon. Do you want to amend that motion to just?
I'll amend
include-
it to the walkathon for July 31st and,
We'll go from there.
All right.
and
do I
also
have-
set the meeting for work session.
And do I have a second?
A second.
Motion and second, all in favor? Motion carries.
Mr. Chair.
I was gonna ask if that motion might be amended to allow, the closure of the roads on those dates.
Okay.
County line.
I'll
Or you
amend
can
it
just do
to
it in a
allow
separate
closure,
motion.
ask for the closure of the roads, County Line Farm Road.
Do I have a second?
Second on that.
Motion and second, all in favor to amend the agenda or amend the motion? So moved.
Mr. Chair, I want to make a comment about that. Just an observation. I looked up, I Googled Meriwether County and I asked for parks, and the only thing that came up was Lake Meriwether. So I was curious to see how many other counties that our population and size and budget-wise, what kind of recreation programs they had. And so Emmanuel County, Bucks County, Lamar County, Pike County, Duffy County came up. And what I realized is all of these counties have park and recreation. They all have a director. I also went to see how many counties out of the 159 had a recreation advisory committee. And I wasn't able to locate a single one. Not to say it doesn't exist, but I hadn't done it. So maybe someone else can find some information. I think it's interesting that the size of our county and the amount of how we discuss recreation. I've been on this board 7 years, so I know prior to me it's being discussed. And we've yet not been able to move to a point where we have countywide recreation. We don't have a recreation director. If counties that are our same population, budget-wise, same as ours, are able to put something together and have an effective program, I think it's to our advantage to go and look and see what they're doing. What is their best practice? What did they do to make this happen? Recreation is a very important part of any community. It talks about quality of life. A lot of counties use that as their marketing tool to get people to move into their community. A lot of counties and cities are now putting in trails. I know in Troup County, they have this thing called the Thread that's going to go from Hogansville all the way to West Point. So I'm sharing all this to say that as we grow, people are going to want more things available for themselves and their children. And having recreation that's not just ball related, leisure, some of the things that former Commissioner Bray just brought up, and other things that we've talked about here on this board really need to be considered. So when we go and have this work session, I also would like to have information presented to this board on other counties that are same size, same budget, and see what they're doing and how we can look at options of moving forward. Because in order to be very effective at countywide recreation, we're going to need a board with a director. So thank you.
And I think this park that we're about to do up here is a huge start for that, the one that's gonna be up here. That's
And a
good
lot of the
start.
counties don't have the land that we have either, and they don't really have the 7 cities. But I understand what you're saying about not having county parks, but there are multiple parks in most cities. And it is something we need to do, and soon we'll have our own park. But we are moving in that direction. I just don't think we can actually, my personal opinion is put a lot of money into it when there's so many things like roads and all that need to be done too. And that's just my opinion. But do y'all want to try to come up with dates by our next meeting so that we can set a work session at that next meeting? That way everybody can come up with dates you have available, and then Beverly can come up with a date that we can do a work session
I just have
for
one
that.
question.
Do we want to ask Mr. Vaughn to check some of those counties?
Yeah.
that-
I'll be glad to give him that
Yes,
information.
and if he could get us some information on their parks or parks and recreation, and I think it's important to do it on, like Commissioner Hines mentioned, on ones of like size and budgets.
Yeah, so most of these counties had a population of 20 to 22,000 people. Their budgets were, some of them budgets is smaller than our budget, but yet they're able to put together and maintain a countywide recreation.
It'll be interesting to see how long they've had it too, when did they start it, how did they get it going and that kind of.
And I think of all those counties I looked at, Pike County was the only county that has a park and recreation authority. Everybody else has a board. So once again, if these counties are able to put something together and be effective, then we need to look and see what they did. But I do want to say this to former Commissioner Bray. Thank you for your presentation. I understand you did say that this information was provided to us on December the 3rd. Your email?
No, the recommendation was December 3rd. The calendar of the events was March 3rd, I believe.
All right, thank you.
But my question is, I heard Bill say, and also Chairman Threadgill, that the money that comes for the recreation, for the walkathon, and I know, Bill, I think you said we have already received $500. Okay, so for any future funds that we receive or that need to come from the Board of Commissioners to make that request to businesses or whoever.
Yes.
And all I can say that is time is at hand, is of importance. July 31st is next month. So if we're going to do anything of quality, this is something that should have already been done or in progress. So
Well, it's not that we're going to sit there and send out letters. You guys need to let us know who you want to target, and then the letter will go to that individual company from the Board of Commissioners.
okay, I can see your list.
Okay, send them to Beverly.
All right.
Thank you, Ms. Mary.
Mr. Chair, not to prolong this, I have one question.
Yeah, it's 11 o'clock.
I understand.
We will have a quorum.
I understand. When the county hosted the country Christmas,
Yes.
was that same procedure went in place as far as the funding, the money that came in?
That wasn't done by the Recreation Advisory Board.
Okay. I just need clarity and I
That
can
wasn't
get
done
it
by the Rec Board. That was done individually by former Commissioner Bray.
As commissioner.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, next item, item number 4, 2021 intergovernmental agreement for elections. If you could unmute Patty.
I'm here.
Patty?
I'm here.
Hey. Do you want to present or?
I can. Can y'all hear me?
Okay.
Okay. We have 6 of our 7 cities that are going to have elections this year, and they wish to contract with the county to do this election. The agreement is a little different than before because I do not have a price as to what it would cost to do this on the new equipment. So it basically states that it will be the cost of the election divided amongst the cities that have an election. The only contract that is different is Greenville, and that is because we conduct their qualifying for them. All of the other cities do their own qualifying. And that fee for the qualifying is $500. So that's the only difference in the contracts or the IGAs.
Okay.
There is only one difference, as Patty said. And also I was contacted by Lone Oak, and I spoke with them this morning. And they're not in this list, but they also are not, to our knowledge, are not scheduled for an election this year as well, except for they might have a special election. Was it in September, Patty?
Yes, that's correct.
And I've asked them to please advise us if that's the case. Okay.
Anything else, Patty?
No, that's all I have.
Thank you. Any commissioners have questions? All right, hearing none, do I have a motion to accept the intergovernmental agreement for elections with the 6 cities listed and allow the chair to sign?
So moved.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor? Motion carries. Thank you, Patty.
Thank you.
Item number 5, resolution, State of Georgia Prosecuting Attorneys Council of Georgia State Paid County Reimbursed Personnel Contract. That's a mouthful.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, many years ago, with anybody that was supplemented to the DA's office, you ended up with them having been basically a county employee, and they had county employee benefits. Of course, that differed from county to county, so it's very confusing. So there was an agreement to have the state provide that, and what's happened is I think some of the counties weren't keeping up with it, they were not doing it, so the Prosecuting Attorneys Council has entered into a agreement with the District Attorney's Office, and the District Attorney's Office now is asking that, that we pay them, and they will then in turn process that through and send it on to the Prosecuting Attorney's Council, who will then come back and reimburse it. So it's just a circle of the money. But that way, every county, and it's not just in our circuit, it's statewide, every county, could follow that same procedure. So it's simple agreement, and
So it's simply a reimbursement. I mean, it ends up being a reimbursement. It's not anything. Okay.
Thank
I'll
you.
make a motion to approve the resolution
Do
for
we
the
need to add
Prosecuting
for
Attorneys
chair to
Council
sign? Do we need to add for chair to sign?
and allow the chair to sign.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 6, state agency budget request fiscal year 2021, 2022. Mr. Ford?
I'll come up here, so I won't be talking to the back of your head. I'll just go through these quickly. We do have, on your spreadsheet, I hope it's in color. It's in your packet. I'll just go down the list as we have them on the agenda. Defects, these state agencies, the reason we present them early before the approval.
There's some little numbers on him.
That's why I have glasses.
His glasses not helping.
All right, let me go ahead and get into this. The first one is DFAX. Last year, their level was 22,500. She's asking for 28,000 this year. So I've asked her to come to the meeting at the end of the month when the board approves the fund request to give us some insight on what that increase is for at that time. And I'll be talking to them throughout the rest of the month to try to get some more information from them. And if she gives me a narrative on what that increase is, I'll of course forward it to you. The next one is the DA office. They're not asking for any increase. Next one is public defender. Their level was 169,306 last year. They have their request is in two forms. The 181,565 includes, as you can see on their request, a 5% for state expenses. Now, we've declined to participate in that since I've been here, so I would venture to say we'll do that again this year. But without that, they're asking for a 3% raise for the public defender's salary. So that if y'all would just consider that, and then we'll make a decision at the end of the month. The health department's not asking for an increase. Three Rivers amount is state mandated based on population, so whatever it is, that's what we have to pay. The library is not asking for an increase since back in 2019, and Ms. Kilby is here if you want to wave at her. Thank you for coming. County agents not asking for an increase. State forestry, that amount is state mandated based on the number of parcels the county has. Tourism, we hadn't asked for their request yet because it will go through the normal budgeting procedure, and it approved the last meeting in August, I believe, or September. Airport authority, same thing. Pathways, I think that's a quasi-state agency. I've reached out to them to see what they would want again for this year, but I hadn't heard anything from them. And if I remember correctly, we didn't hear anything from them last year, so we continued with the 5,000. City of Manchester for recreation. I think we're in the third year of the contract, if I'm not mistaken. We'll have to double check that. Senior centers, we hadn't heard anything from the cities about an increase, and that's been leveled at 6,500 since I've been here, so that's been a while. Keep America Beautiful, we'll get that request from Miss Jane. Community Action Committee, that's Jennifer Corcione. Y'all approved in 2020 $10,000 a year for 2 years, and that's end of that second year is coming up, and I hadn't heard anything from her. So with that, I know I ran through that real quickly, but basically there's only 2 requests for increases, and as we've done in the past, Theron and I will work out the public defenders. And if whether or not we recommend approving that 3% pay increase, we'll let y'all know that quickly. And DFAX will probably be here at the meeting at the end of the month for y'all to talk with her. I will try to negotiate that with her, but I'm pretty sure I won't have any success. So she'll be here. And with that, unless you got any questions, we'll ask for you guys to approve these at the end of the meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chair, I have one comment.
Sure.
I would like to see the 10,000 continue for Kathy.
Okay.
I mean, I feel sure something will be coming, but all the counties do participate to a certain extent. And
Certainly.
I know it's something we just started 2
Certainly.
years ago. But I'd like
I'll reach
see
out
that.
to her. I guess she's still in that position.
She is.
Okay.
She is.
I'll reach out to her again and try to get something in writing.
So do we need to approve these today, you said?
No, sir.
Okay.
No,
You
sir.
said some were coming back. Okay.
At the end of the month.
Any other commissioners have questions?
All right. Thank you.
Steve.
Thank you.
Next item number 7, update of covered bridge. Mr. Dick?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, will get over to my sheet here to take a look at this. As everybody knows, the covered bridge was hit by a vehicle that should not have been going through there here back earlier in the year. And that vehicle damaged some of the supports that were inside the bridge. And when we looked at it, and we didn't feel, we as staff did not feel that those supports were the originals, and they had actually been hit before. You could see scars on them, etc. Well, in looking at that, we contacted and met with Georgia Trust, and they met us down there to take a look at it, and they were very interested in the bridge. And it took them a little while, but they were looking at examining what other bridges of similar design were and trying to find the designs. In the meantime, I asked GDOT if they would come and inspect the bridge, and they did. And they said the bridge itself is fine, but they don't see a lot of, nor are they ready to be able to indicate the structural integrity of the covering of the bridge. So they said that's kind of out of our expert line of expertise. So last week I got a call back from Mr. McDonald. I had called him just to check on it. And he said that they had, and he's with Georgia Trust, he said they had reviewed the structure, advised that the beams that were broken were not part of the original structure. It could be removed or they could be left in place, whatever we chose to do. And as I mentioned earlier, when we had reviewed it initially, we thought that was the case, that those were not original. For additional confirmation, we also contacted Mr. Don Porter, who's a professional engineer, and asked Mr. Porter to meet with our county staff on site to assess the issue. Brad and Bill and I met, and Mr. Porter's opinion was that the beams were not original and that they provided really no benefit to the bridge itself, particularly the section below the roof cross beams. You have cross beams that hold the roof, and these braces run this way, and they run crossways. Well, the problem is they then encroach on the opening of where the vehicular traffic, has to travel. And so we talked to him and said, hey, do you think we could come in and just simply remove the section that's below the roof cross beams? Because those actually reduce the size. And he said, yeah, I think that would be a good way to do that. So that really requires us, unless one of the upper sections is broken, allows us to really be able to go in without any additional materials and correct the bridge. What we would do is we'd go in and we'd cut those non-original support beams below the cross beam, and then we would just paint the end back of them and make them look, like they always would have looked. And then we've done two things. We've fixed the problem that was there. And hopefully with that and with the fact that we have reduced the size of the drive-throughs, we won't have this problem in the future. So we can do that. We'll be back down there and we'll be looking at it. I'll get Bill and myself, Brad, we'll be down helping make sure we did a good job with it. But we wanted to give you guys that report today. I've included Mr. Porter's information. And so with the board's blessing, we'll go down and we'll start that process and we'll get everything fixed back up and open that bridge.
How long do you think it'll take? When can we reopen it?
I would say that we could get a crew down probably this week or next week at the latest, and then we'll open it up right after that.
Okay.
And it's already, the barriers have been placed at the where the bridge, right at the base of the bridge, because people have been turning around, and every time I've been down there's been a lot of activity. There's a lot of people down looking the other day, but I'll get with Bill and Tyrell, and we'll see about getting the crew out to do that. It shouldn't be hard to do it all. So we'll work on those and we'll try to get that open here.
3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, about 4 weeks or less.
Any commissioners have questions?
Sounds good to me.
Me too.
Glad to make some progress there.
Yeah.
And thank you.
All right. Next item number 8, ACCG IRMA renewal contribution worksheet. Approve and allow chair to sign.
We do this every year with ACCG. I think the prices are always talk a little bit, is that correct? Beverly, I know you deal with.
Yeah, really, ACCG is throughout the entire state, so if they do good, we do good, if they do bad, we do bad, so it's been creeping up a little bit. Do you know where we were last year on this, Ben?
Well, it wasn't a lot, and I think if they, at the end of the day, if they do really well, they sometimes will do a reimbursement.
That's right,
check.
yeah, they do well.
So we recommend execution of it and signature by the chairman.
Any commissioners have questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve and allow the chair to sign.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor? Motion carries. Item number 9, resolution authorizing volunteers and elected officials to be covered by the ACCG Group Self-Insurance Workers' Comp Fund.
Allison Stevens had asked me about this, whether or not we needed to cover the elected officials and members of the governing authority. And if you choose to, you have to do the authorization and the resolution. And I would recommend that we do. I'm not sure exactly what we've done in the past, but, we have constitutional officers out there and elected officials who are potentially in harm's way as well. So my recommendation would be that we include, elected county officers and members of the governing authority.
Any commissioners have questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept?
I make a motion to accept.
All right, have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second,
Jeremy, sign.
all in favor? Thank you. And we need to go back to unfinished business, item number 1, update and discussion for County Line Road project.
Mr. Chairman, this is a project that we're looking at options on. It's an expensive project. We've got some funds available, we just don't have the funds right now. And I think the best thing to do would be for us to table this until we can gather some more information and look at some options and have us bring those back to the board. And that might be something that we might want to cover in our work session. I think we've got one scheduled in July, second meeting in July. That'd probably be a good topic for that. Give us time to look at what our options would be with that project, because we're looking at, right at $1 million. And right now we have $100,000, I think, grant and $150 of loan. And we're gonna have to find some more information. And I think both Ms. Platt and Ms. Hines have provided some information on some potential options for grants. So we'll make that a priority. We'll have that and ask you guys to put that back on the agenda at your second meeting in July at the work session. We'll talk about it.
I'm sorry, so it's going back on the work session,
Ma'am?
the work session.
Yes, ma'am. Well, we can give you guys the information. We have time to discuss it. And then, of course, if we have a solution, you guys are ready, we put it on the agenda for that night.
All right. So we need to make a motion to put it on the agenda for the.
Second meeting.
Yeah, so I have a motion.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor? All right, thank you very much. Just a second. Sorry, y'all, I'm working too. All right, next item is report from Finance Director.
I'll be brief. On the county bank balance, the general fund has a good strong balance. You'll notice about third way down, we have a new account called ARPA, which is American Recovery Plan Act. And we did receive our money from the Treasury Department, half of which a lot of it was supposed to get $2,055,741. So we do have that. And now the real work begins. You also notice that we've added another account in our local government investment because we accumulated too much money in the 2020 SPLOST account down at F&M Bank, so we had to create another LGIP account. Unless you have any questions, that's all I've got on the bank balance.
Thank you. Any commissioners have questions? Mr. Beal?
The other report is the monthly 2020 SPLOST and 2020 SPLOST. The deposits for May were down from the previous month, but if you look up at the top of the form, May of last year when the program started, we're still above what we received a year ago, so I'm not concerned yet. But plus, we're still above what our calculate averages were to achieve the level of funding that we wanted by the end of the program. So I think we're still okay there. So keep an eye on that. That's all I have unless you have any questions.
Anyone have questions? Thank you, Mr. Bill. All right, next item, report from County Administrator Brad. Mr. Gay.
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate y'all once again having me. I've met with all constitutional officers. I've met with most department heads. There's still a couple departments I'd like to get out there and meet. Animal Control, Election Office as well. But I've met everyone, that I could in this first week. Therrett and I have gone out in the field several times to evaluate some of these roads. I've got some time blocked off on my schedule tomorrow as well to go out and just wrap my head around some of these things. I concur with reports from the engineer on the covered bridge. Still getting myself acclimated and getting things done, but two things that have come up in meeting with all of our department heads is competitive wages and salaries, and then infrastructure of offices. So those are two things that are going to be prevalent in my mind as we head into the budget season. Don't think we're ready to make any type of recommendations or decisions just yet. Those are things that I want to have out there as, in the forefront of our minds as we get things ready to go. The other thing that I've seen is the unknown treasure or unspoken treasure of the quality of staff that we have. I'm inspired by every office I have visited at, Mr. Chairman. We have some tremendous people here. And if nothing else, it just reinforced my decision to say yes for the opportunity here as the right one.
Thank you very much. Mr. Gay.
Just a few things. We worked on the recreation grants, having to tweak just a few things, but everything's looking good on that. We had some forms we had to complete to GDOT. Dealt with covered bridge, water and sewer, met with the water and sewer authority, and quite a few things coming out of that, and I'll update you guys on here very soon.
Any commissioners have questions? All right, thank you very much. Next item is report from county commissioners. Commissioner Hines.
Just a couple of things. This coming Saturday, there's a Youth Day event at the R.D. Hill Center in Greenville. It's just a fun day for kids to do, so encourage everyone to come out and support that. The other thing is, had an opportunity to meet with some of my constituents on Beulah Evans Road. Once again, the discussion of the condition of that road, as well as the roads that leave off of Beulah Evans. And then I also got a chance to meet with some constituents yesterday off of Primrose Road. And as I was headed to the meeting, right there, once again, where Tenny Nelson and 50 and Primrose connect, there was just gush of water coming down the road. It was almost like going across a pond. For whatever reason, the water is not going down the ditches. It's coming over the ditches into the road. We do need to address that. That to me is a serious safety hazard. Hopefully no one would hydroplane or anything of that. So we need to find out why the water is not running straight in the ditches and coming over. And this is the area where they just did the resurfacing, that they did not do a good job, and they still have not. I hate to bring it up at every meeting, but once again, this was done in October of last year. Here we are in June, and they still have not come. So we have awarded this same company, even though they have subcontract someone else out to do the work. But I would like to see a copy of our contract with them on the terms of if they don't complete a job, what are our recourse on that. So once again, roads is always going to be an issue, but some of this work is just not done adequately in the first place. So unfortunately, I hate to bring it back up, but those are my concerns. So thank you. That's all I have.
I contacted the company after our last meeting. They were supposed to be out there last week, and apparently they've not. I mean, that's on my list of stuff to check.
Yesterday, right?
I went yesterday, and literally it was like a flood. And the thing that's so discouraging is you got one part of the road is kind of smooth, and then there's another part that gets extremely rough. And you've got it hold, and if you're driving a car that's not got a good alignment, it's gonna be even worse. But what was more scary was the amount of water running in the middle of the road. All the ditches were full, and so the water had nowhere to go. So once again, we're here to provide the best possible service as far as the safety. And we don't want any citizens or anyone in our county to come through and because of, I don't want to use, because of not properly doing the roads, that there's a problem. So once again, we do need to address this as soon as possible. Thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
You sure? Just kidding.
I can, but I don't have to.
I'm just for playing.
A couple of things, and I'll remind everyone, Peaches in the Pines is this Saturday over at Lake Meriwether. If you can, have time, come out. And then I want to say that the kids fishing event at the hatchery was very successful with over 200 participants this past Saturday. So I think that went well. And with that, that's it for me.
Thank you, ma'am. Commissioner Hadley.
Just a couple of things. One is a question. I know the state inmates that we have that come, I know they do a variety of things, but it seems like they've been doing some litter pickup on particular roads and all. And I'm just wondering, you know, are they just picking the roads? Can we suggest some roads for them to get on, you know, because I mean, we're in our areas and we see them too. And I mean, there's no way they see every road, but I just didn't know how that was working. I know that's not their sole responsibility, but I know they're doing some of that. So I would just, and I have just sent a couple of messages, emails or whatever, and I don't, you know.
I think they are picking up litter when there's not other stuff, the weather's
Yeah, I
not
understand there's
permitting.
other stuff.
And I think that we're directing them where to pick it up. So if you've got some roads, or any of you have roads that you really need to put them on, let us know, we'll get them on there. We'll put those on the list, and when they're there, we'll get it.
Bill Cawthorn met with me out on a road just outside of Manchester. It's one of those sort of had been neglected, I think, over time, but they did get out there and get some ditches cleared. And it was a situation where it was making water run into a lady's house, under her house. But they did get out there, and she called back yesterday, happy they had gotten that done. I mean, we'd been a little while with no rain, but it was obvious where the water had been going. So appreciate them getting on that. And the other thing, this goes back to Mr. Bill and the report on the T-Splost and the Splost. And I don't really know a good way to do this or what we might need to do, but I mean, it was obviously down a little bit for May, and we don't want that trend to continue, but I just wonder about how we might get that information out to the public just to reinforce every purchase you make in Meriwether County makes a difference on T-Splost and Splost. And our goal, and maybe put something out there that our goal was the 90 whatever thousand per month. And we've been above that and we still are. But then when you see that little drop, and hopefully next month it won't be the same, but I don't know, sometimes just conveying that information and those figures to people, it might make a difference. They decide to stop at Dollar General because we got plenty of them in Meriwether County instead of going to the one across the line, or Ingalls within our county, whatever. I just don't know. So between y'all two, maybe we could come up with a way to.
Would you like us to sit down with Johnny or Jack with the paper and come up?
That would
with
be
a
great.
short article?
And then if whatever we could do there, let's put it on our Facebook page and our website. And then maybe if we all share it and just tell people, look at these numbers, see what a difference makes when you choose to purchase that loaf of bread here as opposed to somewhere else, I mean.
They drive to the Grange to get gas because it's cheaper. They're saving maybe $1. It costs them $2-3 to go over there.
And I understand that, but even within our county, there's a big difference in gas prices. So if you're gonna go somewhere else, maybe go 10 miles within the county to get that lower price than it may be somewhere else.
Because it's cheaper here in Greenville than it is at Manchester.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just something to get that word out there, and people can really make a difference with that. So, and that's all I have. Yeah, and they're about to open that second Dollar General in Manchester, which I don't understand all the concept on that. I was told everything was gonna be $5 and below. It's gonna be but it is Dollar General, but it's gonna be a different concept. I don't know.
Well, they're doing, what is it? Family Dollar and Dollar Tree has combined. So when you see it, you see two signs. I know they have one in Hogansville that just opened less than a month. And I do believe they're getting ready to open one in Luthersville as well. So their whole platform, that industry is changing their
We're
platform.
about to have $2 Generals in Manchester.
And two of them.
Well, that's their goal. That's their platform. That's their
But
platform.
like I said, if that's where, I mean, we all like the convenience of it, so let's just do the ones in our county and help make a difference on this SPOS.
I wish they would do this, because I saw in Dothan, when I had to go a couple of weeks ago, they have a Dollar General market. So I stopped and they have meats, they have vegetables, they have fruits, all in there. I mean, of course they have some frozen stuff, but it was a total different outlook. And they had all kind of.
I think the one in Luthersville has a little bit of produce and stuff. I've been in there and they've had lettuce and potatoes and bananas and all of it. It's not a huge thing, but they're the only one that I know of in the county that has it. But let's just shop at home as much as we can. And it's gonna help, it helps all of us. That gives us more money to do roads for T-SPOS and then our other projects for SPOS.
Mr. Chair, I apologize. Something did just come up. Once again, I brought this up again, but Forest Road and 54, when there's an accident or traffic on Highway 85, how they're diverting the traffic. So once again, there are signs up that says no through trucks, but they're still coming that way. And this past week, I saw a 18-wheeler turn around in our fire station. And that's not good. So I don't know what we need to do as far as signage and let them know that they can't make a turnaround in that area. I don't know whether they turned around because they saw the signs that they couldn't go through or just traffic. But once again, I think it's imperative that we get back with GDOT to say on 54, especially right there at the interstate, that there's something that says 85 North or 2729, so they can stay on 54 until they get to Luthersville. It's just so much traffic, and Forest Road is just not designed to handle that traffic, and it's on both ends of Forest Road. So once again, if we're gonna have these massive trucks turning in our driveways, and we haven't even paved that driveway yet. So just once again, just, whatever we need to do to get in contact with GDOT, I would appreciate it.
That brings up, Mr. Chairman, one more thing about signage. We got the report a couple of weeks ago, last meeting, about the jute line project. The railroad trestle, and therefore the detour and chute line is going to continue for probably another couple of years. And I'm getting calls from people who live out there that the trucks are continuing to use jute line. Now, I know the sheriff's office has done some work there, and then the GDOT,
Public safety
yeah, they've done some things. But since jute line is a county road, I wonder if we could, of course, once they get there, it's really too late. They don't have anywhere else to go. So I don't know what we're gonna do, but it's too big of trucks. That road is not wide anyway. And then it's a terrible having to pull back onto Roosevelt Highway there. I don't know if there's something we can do, or GDOT could help us, because since that's theirs in the railroads project with the bridge, it's gonna have to start at the roundabout, as far as making sure that truck traffic goes the other way, and then coming out of Warm Springs, they got to take 194. So looks like, since we're going to be dealing with another couple of years, it looks like maybe we may have to do something about trying to keep the trucks on.
It's been going on 2 or 3 years now.
What's the name of that road?
Jute Line Road is the detour
JUKE.
for the railroad trestle project, which is on Roosevelt Highway. It was supposed to have been completed in August of last year, and they're saying now we probably got a couple more years. But it's a railroad GDOT project, and that just says enough right there.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. That's it.
All right. Only thing I have is Manchester did confirm they are having their July 3rd celebration this year. So everybody be sure to go out. There'll be fireworks that night. They'll have bands, so everybody come out. And as Commissioner Hadley stated, Dollar General in Manchester will be opening their second one, and they're having a ribbon cutting this Friday morning, 9 or 9:30. So if you can make it to that, come out to that too. Other than that, I don't have anything else. So we'll move to next item, and that is County Attorney. Do we have any need for executive session from your standpoint?
Yes, and from the gay and all standpoint.
So for,
We got, litigation. Personnel. And I don't think we got any real estate. Yeah, we do have real estate too.
and we have a tax matter too that I need to bring up. All right, thank you. So next item is public comment. Is there anyone on that would like to speak?
I'm sorry. This is, so I guess since I've had my time, but I want to bring this up since the board would not meet until another couple of weeks. Last week, in our recreation meeting, Tawana is over that garden out there, and she had reported that she had been taking water, fine water poured in there. So the question came up, could we use funds that was available in the budget to buy a rubber hose? And would the county allow us to tap into the faucet on occasion to water that garden?
How long do you need?
I don't know. I will leave it up to you all to purchase it and just let us know when you have it. And then I will tell Tawana that she could use it.
Probably a couple 100 feet, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty good length.
But I mean, 100 foot's probably what you're gonna get, or maybe you can buy a 150-foot hose, I think.
Yeah, they get all those. Well, when you do, they're usually 50 and 100. I've actually got a,
Measure.
yeah, I got a measure, a rangefinder that I brought today for something else. I'll go shoot it after the meeting.
And if we can't do it, then I'll donate it, okay?
Well, thank you.
Because those things look pitiful.
About $50. I got the back of the truck that I bought.
All right. Any other public comments?
This is Carolyn McKinley. Can I make one comment, please?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. I just wanted to also, in addition to the Peaches and the Pines Festival at Lake Meriwether, there will be a disc golf tournament out there. We have about 60 disc golf players signed up. And I want to thank the board and the county officials for helping to get that disc golf course back in the shape that we can use it. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, hearing none, we will move to executive session, but I'll announce the future meetings. June 17th, 2021, we'll have a special called meeting at 5 p.m. with the city of Manchester. That will be held at the President Theater in Manchester. And then June 22nd, our regular meeting at 6 p.m. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. We're in executive session at 10:12. No action taken in executive session, but we do need to make I'll put this in the form of a motion to make Mr. Gay Executive Director and Special Projects Director. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Is there anything else to come before this board? All right, hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much.